I don't care if you share this one or not. Really doesn't matter. Joe Biden, while receiving the bodies of those 13 servicemen, checked his watch on each and every casket that went by. On each and every one. I guess he was looking to see how much more time he's got to deal with the blood that's on his hands. Everybody keeps saying that Joe Biden is incompetent. Joe Biden is not incompetent. Joe Biden knows exactly what he is doing. Joe Biden did what the cabal wanted him to do. That is intentional. Then he had the audacity to say, for the first time since all of this started, let me digress, they are leaving what they are acknowledging 200 plus people behind. Actually, they're saying 100 to 200. But I'm sure the number is larger than that. Assisted the troops over there for the last 20 years. So, Joe Biden, you remember the video that I did? Why were they still there? Do y'all remember that? Now, Joe Biden didn't say this until this last press conference. It had not been heard. And I said, those people are either dumb blanks or they were given a false sense of security. The video is out there. Why were they still over there? Because if I were working over there and I had gotten the word from President Trump at the time that we are pulling out of Afghanistan, guess what? I'm making plans to get the hell out of Afghanistan. Yes, I am. If you understand history, if you study history, you know what Afghanistan has been like. If the U.S. was leaving, there was no good reason to stay. But Joe Biden was on the airwaves telling everybody everything is going to be all right. Look at me. Everything's going to be all right. And I believe that that's what he was telling those people. But in this press conference where he is declaring a success, I saw one pundit say calling this evacuation or pullout a success is like polishing a turd. Man, no truer words. So let me get to it. Joe Biden said we reached out to the people in Afghanistan, Americans, 19 times. Joe Biden just blamed them. And there is no reason. I saw where Fox was criticizing Joe Biden. How dare you, Fox? You gave rhinos cover. And this is something this is why I am not a favorite of the Republican Party. This is why many Republicans don't like me, because I tell them the truth about why we are where we are. In almost everything that is done in Washington, D.C., both houses are typically almost evenly split. So unless one has a majority and just pushes through whatever they want, which has been rare in our country's history, mostly when things do get to account, all of the evil has been done in the name of our flag, with the blood of our troops. It has been done with the cooperation of both Democrats and Republicans, a flavor for which I call either neocon or rhinos. And for me, rhino is more fitting. Republican in name only. They're just members of the party. And there was no party switch, damn it. There was an infiltration of the Republican Party. Starting after 1877, the first time that the Republicans decided to turn their backs on the Negro, the Compromise of 1877, which allowed the birth of Jim Crow. Go back and look it up. You can still find this in the history books. So now these Republicans, wholesale rhinos in our party, they are the ones that allowed Joe Biden to get in office. Guys like Kemp, Raffensperger, and Schaefer, who didn't do his job, who knew as early as October what the Republicans in the state of Georgia was doing in terms of violating state law to allow these mail-in ballots, which goes back to the pandemic, used to get Donald Trump out of office, to get more people to vote illegally than ever before in our history to win this election, because a few machines was not going to be enough. This is the truth that I'm laying out to you. This is why this happened. So Donald Trump is out of office because of rhinos and their complicity in this particular situation. Oh, but wait a minute, it gets deeper and then I'll be done. How the hell did the rhinos get in office? I remember Republicans getting pissed off at me about not supporting Loeffler. Yeah, but we're going to lose the majority. You ain't going to win. You ain't going to win shit with them if you do have them. What did Kelly Loeffler do while up there in D.C.? Turn her back on Trump, basically agreeing that Donald Trump incited an insurrection and bowed out. What did David Perdue do? None of these people were talking about this up there in D.C. about what was going on. And they are still saying Trump needs to get over the loss of that election and move on. This is what they're still doing. But the saddest part of all of this is Republican voters who support these rhinos. I have been, and somebody told me, why you keep telling us that you warned us? Because you need to hear it. You need to understand there is no excuse for Joe Biden to be in office. None. If Fox had covered him like they did on 60 Minutes back when he ran the first time, all of his lies back to back to back. I graduated from the top of my class. I'm pretty sure my IQ is higher than yours. I went on a full scholarship. None of that crap was true. And the man ended up dropping out. Had they covered his lies the same way, Fox, Joe Biden might not be in office. He might not be in office. Had Fox covered rhinos, McCain, Lindsey Graham, McConnell, Paul Ryan, I could go on and on and on, especially the ones that hide for cover that make you think that they are working for you. Trey Gowdy, all of them. 45 Republicans quit when Donald Trump won. We had the House and the Senate. After they quit, we lost the House. Damn near lost us where we picked up some seats in the Senate. This is what's happening. This is how you continue to get played. This is why we continue to lose. But not because I participated. Hell, I wrote a name on my ballot where I saw Loeffler and Perdue. I did not vote for those two. I will never, ever cast a ballot for anybody that violates the Constitution more than 20% of the time. And if you go to the newamerican.com/freedom-index, you can look up any Republican in there and you will find that many of them have constitutional voting records that are below 80%. Now, some have started to rise up. You want to know why? With their numbers? Because the House and the Senate is owned by pretty much the Democrats. And then I'm going to close with this. Therefore, to make it happen, they can say to the Republican, okay, well, you ain't got to vote with us on this one. We're not going to call in our marker because we got the lead on this. You know, we got the few key guys that don't mind going against their base to give us what we want. So you can go ahead and vote against that. We're not going to hold you to it. But when it's in a crunch, when there's that even split, almost virtually half and half, when bad shit, excuse my language, but it is necessary. When bad shit happens in America, it is happening at the hands of both parties. They are cooperating to do it. That 20-year war wasn't carried on by the Democrats, and it wasn't an original idea for Joe Biden to pull out of Afghanistan. That was one of Trump's campaign promises, not Joe Biden. Joe Biden had another reason. And while you have been distracted with this bullshit going on over in Afghanistan, because that's what it is, not the loss of life, of innocence, but the bullshit that has brought it about, you are losing battles over here in this country each and every day. In the last Republican meeting that I attended, my district convention, they had a resolution, and I made a video about this, and they almost threw me out because I wouldn't shut up. There was a provision in there that said, as long as it is approved, and I'm paraphrasing, as long as it is approved, we will not authorize, unless it is an approved vaccine, we will not support any mandates. Did you hear what I said? And I focused on that word, unless it is unapproved. So what the hell has happened while you have been focused over here on Afghanistan? What is going on? We have mandates being lost everywhere. They're suing DeSantis, the school boards down in Florida, to force your children to have to wear a mask. Rand Paul is saying, hey, they can't arrest all of us. He's telling you to start resisting. You've got, I think in Mississippi, if you test positive and you don't quarantine yourself, you face jail time. Little battles like this has been going on all over the country since this started, and I'll run back through it one more time. In July the 28th, the Supreme Court made a ruling that states could do mandates. That set the stage. That's all Joe Biden was waiting on. 2 weeks later, he said, now's the time to pull out. August 15th, they start pulling out of Afghanistan. Any dumbass ought to know that you get your people out first while you still have control of the situation. You don't damn draw them down, allowing the Taliban. Joe Biden knows this. And for you to think that it was incompetence, what's wrong with you? That was not incompetence. That was intentional. Anybody could have, hey, look, man, get our people out first, get the women and children out, then the civilian men, then destroy our equipment if we're not going to bring it back. Hell, the military and industrial complex don't want it back anymore. Let's leave it over here. So give us another reason to start up another war. Y'all are just missing the whole picture. But none of this would be happening if it wasn't for Rhino supporters. I will forever hold them accountable. Anybody that supports and votes for rhinos, it's your fault. And I hold you accountable. I knew what Joe Biden was. The videos have been out there that the man is a liar. The man has no empathy for anybody. He will tell you a lie today, get back on TV the following week and tell you he didn't say it. And then when you ask him about it, he'll say, oh, well, you don't think that people are telling you, well, Joe, you did say that, right? Well, people are stupid, all right? They're going to vote for me anyway. I mean, come on, man. What's wrong with you? Sometimes it's frustrating because all of this was avoidable. All of it. And I appreciate the donations on YouTube. I really do. I'd rather you send it CashApp from now on because YouTube has demonetized me. So, I don't get that money. Just putting it out there to you. It just sits out there until it gets to be a certain amount and then they'll put it out. But because they have demonetized me, I earn no income on my videos. I appreciate the love, but that's not the sending it to me through YouTube. Why let them profit? So it is what it is. But I appreciate the donation. I think I'm gonna stop it right there. I mean, I don't know what look. I don't have all the fancy stuff, the images that I throw up. I've been making these videos in my car since 2008, and nothing has changed about the way that I do it. I just get on here and I just lay out for you. Sometimes I get animated, I get excited, so to speak. My voice will raise, but all you're hearing is the frustration that I sometimes feel with people where there is information right there in front of your face. All you got to do is listen. All you got to do is look it up. I got put in Facebook jail because I asked 4 questions. Well, Amin did. I just shared it. Can you catch the vaccine if you are fully vaccinated? Can you still get sick? Can you still transmit it to others? Can you still die? And of course, we all know the answers to those questions. And I got put in Facebook jail saying the context was wrong. What fucking context are you talking about? We're talking about the vaccine. We're talking about whether or not you can still get sick and die. We're talking about whether or not you can still transmit it. People like be able to do what they're doing. Him and Justin Amash talked about all of that. All of this stuff I have talked about. And yes, I will continue to keep saying, yeah, I told you. You want to know why? Because if you're a God-fearing man like me, know this. When you die, the Bible says in Revelation, and the books were opened. The books. And they were judged out of the books on the things that they had done. Everything that God is allowing and putting in front of us is being recorded. So he will have a record, and you will not have an excuse. There will be no excuses. He will say, oh, no. I showed you right over there. Oh, no. I sent my servant over to talk to you. Oh, no. Every time you vote for a politician that supports killing a baby in the womb up to 9 months, you are as guilty as they are. That blood on Joe Biden's hands, it's on every single person's hands that voted for Joe Biden. And if you can't feel that, the 13 soldiers, 13 of our men and women that did not have to die, died. They didn't have to die, but they did because of a man that you helped put in office. That's on you. And Rhino supporters who voted for rhinos that allowed the Democrats to get away with what they did in putting Joe Biden in office because they hated Trump so bad. Look at the southern border, a mess. Look at what's going to be happening with our kids in this battle over the control of our children. This stuff has been raging. But we, the people, have allowed it. All I can do is tell you. I can't go to the polls and say, no, don't vote. No. That's really not my job. Number one, and I couldn't do it anyway, it would be illegal. Take responsibility for yourself. It doesn't have to be this way. There is a God. And a good friend of mine He and I, had words, and well, we didn't have words. We exchanged different views. He thinks that God is getting ready to do something wonderful in this country. I don't doubt that. God can do anything he wants to do. He most certainly can. However, I understand, because God left us a record, the history of the children, and we have seen other nations fall to the wayside over their wickedness. Common amongst them, I'm talking about the Greeks, the Romans, the Hannibal and his crew, cruelty to children. What do we have going over here? Abortion and sexual immorality, the likes of which you have not seen. They're trying to push that onto our children. I read a story where a woman was saying, yes, I bought my 10-year-old daughter a dildo, and that's okay. No, the fuck it ain't okay. No, it's not. This is the time that we are living in right now. People think that stuff is okay, and it is not okay. It is not. But this is what we do. And every time I see some conservative, so-called conservative, talking about the left, it just sickens my stomach. I won't even look at them anymore. Candace Owens is one of them. Why? They never talk about the people that make Democrats possible. Fox doesn't do it. The only person that will go the extra mile and tell you the truth is Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson has called out Graham. He has called out Doug Collins. He has called out Kelly Loeffler. Tucker Carlson hits them all. And for whatever reason, he is still on Fox. I can't explain it. I don't know why. But he is the only one. Everybody else is going to make you think that it is solely the Democrats. And if you think this 20-year war has been the Democrats, first off, we shouldn't have been over there in the first place. Let me make that clear. And then I promise I'm going to shut up. We shouldn't have been over there in the first place. And being that we shouldn't have been over there in the first place, how do you think we got over there? Do you think we got over there by just one party alone? No, the hell we didn't. We got over there because of both parties. Do you remember the war on terror? You remember watch lists here in America, American citizens all of a sudden being told they couldn't? Do you remember all of this? Do you remember spying on America? Americans, NDAA, do you remember all of that? What Snowden exposed? Do you remember? That stuff is there. They did this stuff to us, and we put them in office. Yes, I voted for those rhinos back then because I didn't know any better. What does the Bible say? There comes a time when men must put away childish things. I voted for Bush. I was so disgusted with the rhinos that I voted for Obama the first time. Yes, I can admit it. And 6 months after he was in office, I knew that I had been had. I had been sold a bill of goods. He was pushing the same exact warmongering policies in addition to the same tax and spend policies and borrowing that Bush did. When Bush did TARP, I said, oh my God. No, he didn't. And Obama just came in and finished it off. He said, well, we're going to do some stuff for, Main Street too, on top of what we do for Wall. I got all this stuff up here in my head. My memory is long. And I thank God that I got all this stuff out there on YouTube. Maybe one day they may wipe it all out. I don't know. I hope that it surpasses me, because when I'm dead, that stuff will be there. Because if things keep going the way that they're going, the information I get, you will not get in a textbook. It won't be in a textbook. With what they're trying to do to children right now, the truth will not be taught to them. It will be taught to them as Democrats see that it should be, and as rhinos will allow them to. And they will continue to play the divide and conquer game, and they will continue to make you think that they are fighting for you, and they are not fighting for you at all. If they were fighting for you, this shit wouldn't be happening. And that is just it. And I think I'm going to shut up with that. I've said enough expletives today to last me for the rest of the year. So I just wanted to get it out there because, you know, I serve U.S. Navy. And when those 13 soldiers lost their lives, man, it was heartbreaking because that didn't have to happen. That did not have to happen. Totally avoidable. And please don't comment that Joe Biden is incompetent. Joe Biden did what he was told to do, what he wanted to do, and what he could do, and he got away with it. And not a single person in Washington, D.C. tried to stop him. All they do is talk about resign. Oh, resign. Every time I see somebody post, he should resign, I say, piss off with the theater. You know damn well they're not going to resign. They ain't going nowhere. And Trump is not about to be reinstalled in office. So stop that nonsense too. It ain't happening. 2024. 2022, you purge your rhinos. 2024, hopefully it'll be Trump and DeSantis on the ticket. That's all I got to say. TMOT, drive time till next time.